Well, this is just an introduction. Okay. I will always love you. Love you. That's it. Now you're probably wondering why I would be singing, because I wonder that all the time too. But okay, so here we go. The great Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston, a multi-million-dollar selling singer who emerged in the 1980s with her great R&B hits and her great, amazing voice, only to be deteriorated through the years through her cocaine addiction and her abusive relationship. And she died on February 11th in Beverly Hills, California. She was 48. Okay. So Whitney, what did she die from? She died from lorazepam, which is used to relieve anxiety. It works by slowing down activity in the brain to allow for relaxation. And then the second one, diazepam, is used to relieve anxiety, and it is also used for alcohol withdrawal, which probably was the reason why she was taking it. But if both of those drugs induced combined with alcohol always equal death. And that's why, because it was found from an autopsy report. And some other drugs were found in her room, but were not pretty that much. Yeah. And then she was clean for 3 years of cocaine and marijuana, but those were considered hard drugs. So alcohol, like Dr. Lorenz said, is still a drug, and that's why it is important to realize that even though an addict has some addiction, you should never let them consume a drug, because you don't know if they'll influence their ways of thinking. Okay, then what pathway or structure in the brain associated with addiction? The medial forebrain bundle is a function that is a structure that is below consciousness, below reasoning, below emotional regulation, is the medial forebrain bundle. The medial forebrain bundle is a system that sets up the basic drives like hunger, survival, thirst, and other basic human instincts that we attribute to today. And if that lower structure is influenced by addiction or some drug, it affects the higher reasoning, like your reasoning, your volition, and our love for this class now serves a distorted view, which is permanently adjusted for the rest of our life. Yeah.
Chad, you're going to get high marks here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ultimately, a person has an uncontrollable craving triggered by any stimulus. So, if you pair association, you get. Whitney probably smoked with some friends or supposed friends, and that, and then she probably, every time she hangs out with them, she's like, oh, you wanna hang out with so-and-so? And that means I'm not gonna smoke weed, because I've been clean for 3 years, or drink alcohol. But since she saw that person, she paired association, she wanted to drink alcohol. She told him a glass of champagne on the night that she died. And it could have been prevented if she didn't drink alcohol. Okay, and then the final. Why didn't people start investigating Whitney 15 years ago when the first incident occurred in an airport? And a friend has said it wasn't her place to pull Whitney aside and say, you really should watch what you are doing, because it's Whitney Houston. I mean, okay, when do you actually have the control over a friend? It doesn't even have to be a friend, an acquaintance, anyone that you think would better with some control. I mean, she was in rehab 3 times, and then a person should say to that addict, you should say, come on, whoever it is, I care too much about you as a person to see this happen to you again. You care too much about yourself. And this is my final thing that kind of emphasizes what I just talked about, the whole friend issue, and you know.
Whitney partied, she drank champagne, she sang, and gave a performance that was unscheduled because I never expected her to take the stage. I knew she was going to be there for me, and she was. And as I addressed the audience to give acknowledgement to her being there, she decided to come up on the stage. And after we embraced each other, she said, give me the microphone.
Now, I got to tell you, when I saw that interview, and right now when I listen to it, it gets me very, very worked up, very angry. Now, if I do my job correctly, by the end of this evening, you'll have a clearer understanding of what I'm talking about. The way people are recovering before Whitney's demise, I think, is superficial, inaccurate. For instance, here you have a good friend of hers, people around her, saying that she's great, she's toasting champagne. This is a woman with chronic addiction. A woman with chronic, multiple treatments for addiction, was just treated last May at an outpatient program where the goal is abstinence. Complete sobriety. A person with that kind of history of addiction who is holding a glass of champagne is literally drinking on their grave. That's what's happening. She's holding a poison for her. So for...
Okay, that is it. I'm done.